Okay, here we go. I now have my notes up. Mac user water cools a MacBook Pro. iMac design leaked and I believe later confirmed. And 27-inch iMac being enlarged. And also some advice. Yeah, and personal stuff. So right up on the news. First off, yes. A Mac user did add water cooling to lower the noise on their Intel MacBook Pro. It is no secret that all variations of the MacBook have terrible thermals, and pair that with an Intel CPU like they used to use on the Macs, and you have what is known as a match made in heck. And also a bad idea. Theodoric, a member of Mac Rumors, made a custom loop, with inexpensive parts. It was actually an external custom loop with transmissive thermal pads added between its components. Okay, editor Casady stance here. I'm going to interject. It was between the components of the Mac and its metal chassis. Just to clear things up here. And the chassis, so as to actually allow for the external cooler. I mean, obviously it ran cooler, and its performance was boosted, which leads me to conclude that Intel Macs thermally throttle. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's pretty common knowledge, though. Additionally, the iMac design was leaked, and the design, I believe, was confirmed to be of a similar one. Not likely the exact same because, well, you know. It's the first major redesign since 2012, with slimmer bezels and no metallic chin bar, and I do not like it. But I'm also not a Mac user, so it doesn't really affect me, does it, now? That being said, you better expect me to share my opinions on it. While I'm no designer myself, I am quite a picky connoisseur of design. Also, the 27 iMac being enlarged, the design language is similar to the Pro Display XDR 32-inch display, so it could be replaced with a 32-inch. That is actually the size of my secondary monitor, which used to be my main monitor, but, I mean, it's a TV we got for free, and it's only 1360 by 768, whereas my new monitor, my current main, is smaller, but it's also 1080p, and basically a Retina display at this distance.
Advice from Casady Stamps.
Now, you know what time it is? That's right, it's time for Advice from Casady Stamps. First off, don't overfill your PC's storage. It's not fun to deal with no space, and I have heard through the grapevine of computers dying from lack of storage space. Also, another thing. Ride elevators or lifts. I cannot stress this enough. Do not use the built-in attic on your computer. Please. I do have a couple clips to show. One using the built-in attic ADC analog to digital converter on my laptop. The other one using the Zoom H1N as my audio interface. And you be the judge. Which sounds better?
Yeah, do not use the built-in attic on your computer. If you do, you'll get audio that sounds like this. This is the BPHS1 running into the iRig Pre, direct into the headset jack on my laptop, and as you can see here, it sounds terrible. It sounds really bad. Awful. Atrocious. You get the idea. It does not sound good at all.
This, on the other hand, is me through the BPHS1 connected to my iRig Pre,
which is just the original, which then goes to my Zoom H1N, which then connects to my laptop via USB. And as you can hear, it sounds much, much better. Although, well, this thing does lack a bit in the bass department because it's a broadcast headset. It was designed to do well in crowded environments and such, and those frequencies are trouble for polar patterns.
We are now back to me from the present. I have another piece of advice. Instead of driving everywhere, consider man-powered transport for short to medium distances. Of course, for medium distances, you probably don't want to walk. Probably reserve that for cycling. However, for short distances, you can walk or cycle. Yes, when I say cycle, I do mean ride a bicycle, a pedal-powered bicycle specifically. It gives you exercise and also does not spew carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which is good, obviously.
Personal segment, this is it.
And now, for the personal segment. Our Lumina is rusted out. There is rust on the bottom trim plate, and it's really not worth replacing. Although it should last through the summer. Definitely not through the winter, though, because of the ruster trucks. Yes, the ruster trucks. It's in a condition known as totaled, which means it's not worth fixing. Also, the Town & Country's serpentine belt slipped off. It lost power steering, and the battery light turned on, which does not mean that the battery's low. It means that it's drawing battery power, and those things happened at once, and it stopped. I mean, that serpentine belt, that is the main drive belt. For this next part, I will need to go up and get some stuff, so excuse me for 1 second. I'll just leave those lights on. Okay, I am now back, and there we go, headphones. Nice. Yeah, I got a Shure SM57 with the A2WS. This is what it looks like without it. I'm going to put that back on. I also have an Audio-Technica BPHS1. If you're watching the podcast, this is what it looks like. I also have an iRig preamp, which has this. It has a TRRS jack on the end, a male jack, for those of you who are not watching. So I use a TRRS female to dual TRS male splitter to connect it to my Zoom H1N. I mean, it was designed for mobile devices, and it's designed to work specifically with Androids, because there is one with a lightning connector. Now, the Shure SM57 is really nice. Note to self, throw a clip here of me using it. Well, hello. Here's me on the SM57. It might not sound the best going right from the BP40 to this, and it probably won't sound the best going right from this to the BP40, because your ears get acclimated to things. But here we go. This is me on the SM57. Now, I turned up the gain on this thing and then, or on the audio interface, and then did not test it. Whoops. Also, yeah. It doesn't sound at its best because my audio interface is the load, and, well, this is an older dynamic microphone designed to work with lower load impedances, and my audio interface's impedance is higher than what it's designed to work with. Editor Casady stamps here. My audio interface is at 3 kilo ohms of load impedance. But there you go. This is me on the SM57. And the Audio-Technica BPHS1, this thing is a pretty good headset. Oh yeah, and the cord's all wrapped up. Although it is lacking in the bass department, and I do not have an adapter for its 1/4-inch headphone jack on it. So, I use this pretty janktastic solution, which for those of you who are not watching, well, simply put, I have a 3.5mm TRS male to 3.5mm TRS male cable. I connect it to an adapter that converts that into 1/4-inch, and then I connect it to a 1/4-inch TRS coupler, female on both ends. Although I did order a proper adapter for it. Editor Casady stamps here. The proper adapter has actually arrived. It does have a cable for those of you who are just listening, not looking at your screen or anything, or have it running in the background. But the thing is, I want it to have that cable so that well, otherwise I could see myself hitting that and breaking it, because 3.5mm TRS is not the most durable thing in the world. And note to self, throw a clip of me using the BPHS1 here. Okay, I am now on my BPHS1. This take will not be processed. I need to speak quickly, because the take gets too long, and I don't want you to get fatigued by this. Anyway, yeah. It is kind of hard to position this so that you don't, to minimize plosives and to not breathe on it. I've done one of those things, and to adjust it, it's best to mute yourself like I did. Yep. I said now you can't hear me, and now you can. Anyway, to take a drink, you do need to get it out of your way like this. It is now in my hair. Yeah, I did yell there. I am still, though, going to need to boost it in post. But yeah. Anyway, now a processed take. Apologies, none of these takes have actually been completely raw. My RNC is running, although this is in bypass mode, which means it's not doing a thing. And I'm sure you can tell why I don't use it in bypass mode. Yeah, actually, to review Mike's iMac, I actually am going to be disconnecting that thing entirely. But yeah, I will export the audio from this clip, in some way, and then I will process it in Audacity, because that's where I have an EQ profile. Audacity is a destructive editor, which means that it requires trial and error, whereas non-destructive editors are much easier to use. Additionally, my brother got a new boom arm. I got it for him for his birthday. It is the Samson MBA-28, the little brother to mine. I didn't get him the MBA-38 because it looks a bit small to use a 38-inch arm there. But for those of you watching, I will throw a picture up here. Note to self, throw a picture up. It appears they actually updated the look of it a bit, which, honestly, I do quite like. This one is square and flat on all four sides, whereas his is round on the outsides and flat on the insides. The logo plate on his is missing, but that is very minor. And to be honest, if you expect perfection, you're gonna get ripped off because, well, simply put, perfection does not exist in this realm. I got both doses of the vaccine as well. Both. And no bad reactions. My arm was sore, but that's actually, it's a vaccine. That's normal. Yeah, my light is indeed at 25%. Seems a bit bright for that. My brother has also graduated from high school, assuming all went well, and I am confident that yes, it did. Update, good news, it did, yay! The commencement ceremony, as I'm recording this, however, has not happened, but by the time this is released, it will have. Additionally, I got a second battery for my camera, the Canon Vixia HFR 800. For those of you watching, this is the original battery. It says Canon on it, and I labeled it with OG, which stands for original. My key light seems to have slipped off of its track. I should fix that. This is the spare battery I got. It does not say Canon on it, for those of you who are not watching. It comes from BM Premium. It is a third-party battery. But I have already tested it, and it does work. And I can now hot swap from the main battery to the backup if I need to. Let me just clarify that really quick. I can't actually swap batteries while the camera's running. I mean, I don't have to wait for it to charge before continuing on using it. Additionally, with a spare battery, I also got a bell. It's just a customer service bell, although I will ring it for you. Fully mechanical. I recorded Foley for, well, elevator bells, elevator chimes, mechanical ones. One for the up chime, which is just a single chime, and then one for the down chime, which is 2. Another thing, I did hack some of the LED bulbs, but this one didn't seem to take kindly to it. Whoops. Simply put, I removed a resistor from it. For those of you watching, if this thing will focus, there it is. Yep. This is the only one that did not actually succeed. And then here's the inside. At first I thought this thing didn't have a discharge resistor, but I am pretty sure that it is right there on the circuit board. On the inside. Yeah. And actually my red LED bulb, which is not that by the way, that's actually the orange CFL. Yeah. Surprisingly, the orange CFL looks more red and the red LED looks more orange. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for. I really do hope you've enjoyed. If you did, then please do hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. My brother's video bombing. But anyway, this has been Sadie Stance. Cheers for watching. And I will see you all later. Bye.